So here it is, Zwift number 76, stage 3, rolling with ENVE around the Jurassic coast course. It's one lap, 66 people were registered. Here's a cross section of the route. Very hilly at the start, going up the Titan Grove KOM. And the cross section that you can see on the right hand side is nothing like the cross section that you'll see in the top right hand corner of the screen very shortly. As you can see, the most amount of the inclines are right at the start, and I think we start climbing within the first kilometre, which is going to really hurt me. I'm not a climber. I don't like the races with too much climbing, due to my weight probably of 92 kilograms. We got 212 metres of incline in total. It's a 19.5 kilometre race. We're in with the category 210 to 330. My current ZRS is 322. It's dropped over the last few months, but it is creeping up slowly, but I'm quite happy with it staying below 330 to be honest. So yeah, here we go. A nice powerful start. We're within the first kilometre and we're starting to climb. I had a thought process in my head that I would attempt to really bust a gut and stay with the rest of the riders in the front group until we got to the highest point, which is where we get the first power up. So that was my intention. It was going to be hard. As I said, I'm not a great climber, and I just needed to really push hard to try and stay with the riders. That said, I do feel as though I am getting slightly stronger all the time again, after a couple of months off. So let's see if that comes to fruition today with this ride. We had 55 riders go over the start finish line, although 66 were registered. There's around about 40 of us in this front group at the moment, and you can see that from time to time when there's a little tiny punchy incline, I can really push hard, get up out of the seat, and you can see me, I'm right at the front of the group at the moment, and then just ease off from time to time. So feeling quite good at the moment. Average watts 250, that's really high. I know we're only 2.5 kilometres into the race, but just showing that I am able to do it. I didn't feel totally exhausted. You can see that my heart rate's in the mid 150s, so that was good as well. And as we continue to go up the incline here, up Titan Grove, although this might not be Titan Grove, this might be an earlier part of it, you can see that I can stay with the rest of these riders, which was a real positive thing to do. But we're all stretching out. You can see in the mini map now how we're all spreading out, but just wanted to keep on the tails of these riders in the group. Again, another little punchy bit out of the seat again there. My watts went up to about 400, so just able to push up the places and get up with the front riders. You can see that there's a definite split now. It's saying that I'm 23rd and there's only a couple of riders behind us, so there's probably about 28 of us at this point. So yeah, just looking to see that I can stay with them. I am working hard. Average beats per minute heart rate is 155, so that's reasonably good. And just staying with the rest of the riders, making sure that I can get a draft off them. But this is the final incline. This is the Titan Grove KOM in reverse. So it's just a long, well, when I say long, reasonably long blast up to the top of the hill, but you can see it there. So my hope is that I can stay with these riders, and with the downhill at the top of the hill, I would be able to use my weight, which is higher than average, to just stay with the rest of the riders. So let's see if I can manage that. Heart rate still in the mid 150s. Average heart rate 256, so that I am working hard. You can see there's a little bit of a gap at this point, and you can see we're all stretched out. And from time to time, as we're climbing up the hill, there's an example there, 400 watts, just getting up out of the saddle and just powering on up. But potentially the gap has been created. You can see there's 4 riders in front of me. Fretwell is one of them, and Gilan was also quite close to us. So, but I was able to pick a few riders off going up this hill. I actually just wanted to stay with the 4 riders behind me, but by putting in another burst, I ended up getting quite close to a couple of riders in front. But settle down when we get to the top, and try and get with some of these other riders so that I can just draft my way down the hill. I was conscious that those 2 riders in front looked like they were going to get away from me as I started to recover. So I used my power up quite quickly there, my aero boost quite quickly. But now we're going downhill on a percentage of 3% descent, and just wanting to push hard and try and pick off some riders. You can see in the mini map they were all scattered out. There is a big group of about 15 out in front, but there's various other riders riding on their own now. So let's see how this progresses. So you can see at this point there's 4 of the riders around us: P. Gwyn, ND, and Fretwell. So be able to hopefully get a bit of a draft continuing down the hill, but we are about to bottom out, and the descent just levels off soon. But pleased with the position, 20th. I wasn't ultimately able to hang on to the front group, who were 15 seconds out in front. There's a few stragglers in between, but yeah, I'll stick hold of this group as we go through various undulations and see how things progress. So at this point, we're joined by a couple of other riders who've come up behind us, which I don't mind particularly. It made the group bigger, so we can take advantage of a better draft. The riders in front, they're 10 seconds ahead. There's about 4 or 5 of them. But it doesn't look at this point as though we're going to be able to catch hold of them. So let's just see how things go. We're inside the last 10k, and the groups are all quite spread out now. So let's just see how things go, and let's see if we can maybe make an impact on this group that I'm riding alongside. Here we jump forward to the group ahead. Looks like there's 6 of them there. Single rider out on his own in 13th place, and then there must be therefore a group of 12 out in front. Back to our group, just in case I get dropped, and just keep on pushing hard here. I'm pushing the watts. You can see the average watts have gradually come down to 235, but that's a good average watts for me, and if I can keep it in the 230s, I'll be pleased. But I do start to ease off a little bit here, but you can see my heart rate's low at 145, so I'm not working particularly hard here if my heart rate's that low, or I'm certainly riding efficiently, let's put it that way. and just being conscious of the group ahead. They're now 14 seconds ahead, so again, like I said before, it doesn't look like we're going to be catching them. They're actually pulling away, but it's quite undulating through the last 8 kilometres. There's a few little punchy parts that you have to work hard on and just to work up. Here's one of those examples. You can see my watts are up over 300. And you can also see that the group ahead are now just 12 seconds ahead. So we are closing in on them, and whether they are tiring, I'm not sure. We have got a bigger group, so can we take advantage of a better draft? And we'll just wait and see, really. So gap to the riders in front is back up to 13 seconds. And we've only got 6 kilometres to go. C-Man, he was certainly a rider who was quite prominent towards the end, and found out later that his name is Cotton Man, so I don't know whether that's related to a job he does or whether somebody's actually christened him Cotton, I'm not sure. But yeah, a few riders pushing along in front of me. The group in front of one of the riders has just posted eyes behind because they can see that we're catching, and that gap that was 13 seconds is now down to 9, so that's looking really, really good. C-Man is in the front of the push, but he's probably gone now because we're not going to be able to draft with him. There's still 6 of us, 7 of us in our group here riding along. Just gone through the woodland sprint there, and C-Man, he's not too far away from the riders in front. We're 8-9 seconds behind them, but he's only less than 5 seconds, so he's done really well. And here you can see them all. I feel as though I can work hard here up this incline and try and bridge some of these gaps. So this is really positive that we've caught this group in front, and we start picking a few of the riders off. Lawrence is one of the riders, 2 riders ahead, who's falling back towards us, and the rest of the group that I've been with are working really hard. So you'll see a few new names pop up here from the riders from the group in front, but you can see I'm in a 3, there's 4, 5 just ahead, 1 behind us, so that's almost a group of 10 here riding along now. So hoping to use the draft really, really well. So let's see how this progresses. So there's about 8-9 of us here, and you can see there's about 4 or 5 I think there are, just a few, well, less than a second ahead. So it looks like it's coming back together. We are working really, really hard. You can see that average watts is up to 236, so that's really, really good. I've put another little burst in there because I feel as though we're going to bridge the gap and just become one group with only 3 kilometres to go. So there's around about 15 of us in this group, and then a single rider out in front of that, and then still that that dozen riders out in front. So really pleased that we've been able to keep this, get this group to come together and peg them back. Not sure whether that was because of our effort improving or whether they just started to tire in front and allowed us to come back to them. So we've got 2 kilometres to go now, and I start panning through the rest of the group. This is the front group, but I find that there are 2 riders out in front, T. Lunar and Nordhagen. Nordhagen's got a 12-second lead. and T Lunar is about 5 seconds ahead of a group of about 10 behind him. But back to myself in my group, I'm feeling relatively strong. Heart rate is getting close to 160, so you can see that I'm starting to work a little bit harder, but just really just concentrating on staying with this group and hoping that I can finish ahead of some of these riders here, so finish around about 20th position. So inside the last kilometre, and we fast forward again, and I will take the pace down now so that we can follow the riders through to the end. So there's Nordhagen out in front, 9-second lead, so T Lunar's just pulled it back a little bit, but maybe Nordhagen's just eased off slightly, coming up to the line. Comfortable win for him. I'm not sure where he did put in the breakaway, but certainly very comfortable. T Lunar, here he is, round about 9 seconds behind at that point that I just discussed with you. Then after that, there was numerous riders all pushing for the finish line, 5 or 6 of them all very close together, and you can see them all crossing the line. Then we're going back to George Glendinning. He's coming up towards the finish line. Then we're going back to Hendricks and just picking off a few of the riders now as they come up towards the finish line, trying to get as many of the other riders completing the race as I can. Hendrick looking like he just eased off completely there. Here's George Glendinning that I mentioned just a minute ago. I think he finished about 18th, I think, maybe. No, less than that, 13th. Following, we've got M. Fretwell, who's just been passed going over the line. There's a couple of them here, quite close together, and this is the group that I was riding with, but because I focused on doing the filming towards the end, and that's not an excuse. I was easing off as well, but there's me coming over the finish line in 23rd position, and I did 233 watts, which is 2.5 watts. So here we are, top 10. Nordhagen was first over the line in 30 minutes and 31 seconds, followed by T Lunar in second, 9 seconds behind. Then we had Stigbar in third, Alex Kay in fourth, Darren Hopp in fifth, Stephen Lumsden in sixth, Jason Morrison in seventh, David Auclair in eighth, and then Rasmus Hansen in ninth, and A. Alverstad in 10th place. So they all finished quite close together, apart from the first two who were well out in front. But another improvement for me. I know my Zwift racing score only went up by 1 to 323 after the race, but I'm happy with that. I can stay riding in the category below 330. So hopefully you enjoyed watching the video. Please subscribe. Please like as well. I believe there's a new button that you can click on YouTube that is a hype button. That would be fascinating if some people start clicking on the hype button. I presume that increases other people's awareness of your videos, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'm not sure when I'll be back, possibly Friday. I might have a ride Friday night and take it from there, but I'm starting to gradually see improvements in my strength again after a couple of weeks off. So catch you all again soon. Please subscribe, and bye-bye.